Monday's Premier League match sees Crystal Palace at 1.57 favourites when they host 19th place Sunderland. The value has gone, but are we looking at a home win here?
I think you are. I think you are. But I mean, if someone had told me the early part of the season, you'll be back in Crystal Palace at 1.57 in a home match against any team in the Premier League, I think you've got absolutely radio mental. And I'm not quite sure if it's the right price. I'm not quite sure it's the right play. Last time I come on here with you, Natalie, we spoke about a Sunderland game. I said I think it might be 0-0. Sunderland against Everton. 8 goals were scored.
Yeah.
And the one thing I learned from that game is never bet on Sunderland games. And also I learned that Sunderland are a very, very poor side. Defensively, they're atrocious. They're the worst team in the Premier League by a mile. They will go down. They will finish bottom in the Premier League. I'm making that statement now. But are Crystal Palace any value at 1.57? I'm not so sure. I think they probably will have enough. They've got pace in their side. They probably will win the game. But would I rush down to the bookies to bet 157? Probably not. But I think they will win. And I think if they do get the first goal, they could kick on and win some more.
Yeah, I do apologise. You said you weren't going to bet Sunderland. I gave you this game to preview, so I apologise for that. But obviously, Sunderland do have the highest conceding record on the road, 18 so far over 12 games. But Crystal Palace have only scored 6 at home. So the question is how does this translate into goals?
Well, 18 goals, it's 6 games away from the Premier League. They're in 3 goals on average per game. Everyone says that Crystal Palace are a much better side away from home than they are at home because they've got pace, they've got Balassi, they've got Zaha, they've got pace, they've got Zaha, they've got players out there who have got ability, Kabai, players who have got skill and ability. But I don't care where this game is played. It can be played on Mars, it can be played down the local park. Crystal Palace are a much better side than Sunderland. That's no doubt about it. Sam Allardyce will come here for a 0-0 draw. He'll try to frustrate the life out of Crystal Palace. If Crystal Palace get an opening goal, it could be all over. And I think the better play here is not necessarily Crystal Palace to win the game, but Crystal Palace -1, maybe -1.5. Because I think if they score the goal in the first half, they can go on and score 2 or 3. 1.57 to win the match, maybe a little bit short. But once they do get that first goal, I think they get 2 or 3.
All right, that's your bet. My bet is actually Crystal Palace and the under 3.5 goals, 2.1 Stan James. Do you agree with that bet?
Yeah, I do, because I don't think Sunderland will score. So I do agree with that. I think when you back unders, you want one team that's not going to score. You've got one team that's going to score goals. You don't want an early goal, because if Crystal Palace do score after 2 or 3 minutes, they may score 3 or 4. But they've got ability and they've got so much pace in their side. And Sunderland look aging at the back. They look an old side. They've got no pace. They've got no character. They've got no morale. They've got no belief. Big, massive factor between Allardyce and Pardew, 2 former Newcastle managers, going head-to-head, and Pardew would like to do a number on some of the sort of predecessors before at Newcastle. But I fancy Crystal Palace to win this, and I think the better bet, rather than back the short odds 1.57, because I think they probably will win, but I don't want to lose it. But I think they could go on to win by a lot. I'm going Crystal Palace -1 goal.
All right, fantastic. And that comes in 1.97 there. Bet Victor. Nigel, thank you for joining us.